Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everyone to the Hardcore FM podcast show. I'm your host, Hardcore Declan, and it is Royal Rumble preview show tonight. And I'm just going to let this cheesy intro, because it never gets old. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the swing of things here tonight. Of course, Royal Rumble comes to you tomorrow night, 1 a.m. Sky, no, sorry, not Sky, BT box office live from 12 o'clock tomorrow night. Who is going to win, guys? Leave your comments. I will read them out if you want. I want to say hello to Dan Oakley. How are you doing, bro, if you're listening in? Um, Please text in, guys, your prediction of who's going to win the Royal Rumble, the men's and women's Royal Rumble. But let's get into the swing of things. First of all, we will go to the Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan in a leather strap match for the WWE Universal Champion. Who is going to win? Who is going to win, guys? Please text in your uh, person who's going to win. Who is going to win? What do you think, guys? Dan, what do you think? Who's going to win between the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Daniel Bryan? You tell me, guys. You tell me. Well, my prediction is, of course, the Fiend. Nobody can stop the Fiend, of course. But I just have a funny feeling, the Fiend will probably win, but Daniel Bryan might take something out of the bag and be the Fiend. But I'm gonna go with the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, to go in as champion and leave as champion. Um, so, what is your prediction, guys? Please text in your prediction of this match. The Fiend, is the Fiend gonna win? Is he gonna lose the Universal Championship? Let me know, guys, in the description. And I want to say hello to my best friend, of course, all the way from Bognor Regis, Dan Oakley. How are you doing, Dan? How is things, mate? Now we will move on. Obviously, my prediction is the Fiend. In the description, please tell me who's going to win in the matches. Now we'll move on to Becky Lynch versus Asuka for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Who's going to win? Remember, Becky Lynch has never ever beaten Asuka. Is Becky Lynch? Because remember her contract as well. She didn't sign a contract. So is Becky Lynch leaving after the Royal Rumble? Because if you remember last year, the road to WrestleMania, she had a bad time. Obviously storyline. Obviously she had that bad knee injury, and she finally got her match at WrestleMania by beating Charlotte and Ronda Rousey to become Becky Two Belts, by the way. Becky beat Two Belts. I would normally obviously go with my Irish last kicker. I would normally go with Becky Lynch. But I think Asuka is going to win tomorrow night, and we'll wait and see. Now we move on to Roman Reigns versus King Corbin in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Who is going to win between Roman Reigns and I think, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised, because King Corbin, or Baron Corbin, should I say, King Corbin, bullshit. Baron Corbin, obviously he has a few trick up his sleeves. He has Dolph Ziggler, he has Robert Roode, Cesaro, so his so-called little stooge, his security men. So I wouldn't be surprised, if he pulls something out of the hat, Baron Corbin. And also the Revival as well. I think the Revival have been signed with him also. So, I'm going to go with hopefully Roman Reigns, and hopefully the Usos can be his cousins. They can be in Roman Reigns' corner. So hopefully, it'll kind of even the odds a little bit. If the Usos show up with Roman Reigns, but I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns on this one, guys. He's a powerhouse, absolutely good fan favorite to watch. Roman Reigns, of course, and of course, everybody knows Roman Reigns, of course, is related to The Rock, so he's kind of like in the family business, of course, you know what I mean, and obviously, obviously would it be his grandfather? I know the Rock's father passed away, obviously last week, Rocky Johnson, so they would have been obviously related to him as well, and so we'll move on anyway. Now we'll move on to Shorty G versus Sheamus. I to be honest, and Sheamus hasn't been around probably in 7 months, give or take. The another Irish lad from obviously Dublin, actually Cabra, would you believe, from Cabra, Dublin, Ireland. Sheamus is back now. But sorry, Sheamus, I'm not backing you tonight or tomorrow night. I'm gonna go with Shorty G. Look, Sheamus is a powerhouse. Don't make me, don't get me going here. He is a good wrestler, but I'm gonna give the match to Shorty G with all the, stuff, poured out Shorty G over the last few weeks and stuff. Sheamus came back, kicked him in the head, started on Shorty G for absolutely no reason, So, but I'm gonna go with Shorty G. Sorry, Sheamus, I know you're from Dublin, but I'm sorry. So I'm gonna go with Shorty G on this one. Now we will move on to Bayley versus Lacey Evans for the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. Obviously, Bayley the champion, going against Lacey Evans, and of course, a couple of weeks ago, this happened a couple of weeks ago, when I think it was Sasha Banks and Bayley were like picking on Lacey Evans and bringing Lacey Evans' child into it, and obviously, that this is how the match came, and over the last couple of weeks, Lacey Evans has been kind of getting her own back, and then vice versa, Bayley, back and forth. So this is going to be a good feud between Bayley and Lacey Evans. But I don't think Lacey is she is. Lacey is a tough cookie, and but I'm going to give this to Bayley. But I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be nice to see Lacey Evans, the new women's champion. SmackDown Women's Champion, by the way. The leader of the locker room. It'd be nice to see her, but I'm gonna go with Bayley on this one, guys. Because she's champion since WrestleMania, is it? Or after that, I can't remember. So she's been an alright champion. Now we will move on to Andrade versus Humberto. Obviously, two Spanish wrestlers, of course. Obviously, two Lucha Libre Spanish wrestlers, Pride. Dan, I don't know how much the Royal Rumble is, bro. Probably, I don't know, 20. I think it's £20. I think in pounds. I don't know what it is in euros. £20, I think. But I can give you a lend me app, man, if you want. That's no problem, bro. I'll give you a ring after this, man. Yeah. So two Mexican superstars, Andrade and Humberto, in a singles match, obviously for the WWE United States Champion. And to be honest, I'm gonna go with Humberto, because this has been kind of going on, a rivalry. Andrade obviously beat the legendary Rey Mysterio, which was a real shock. On I think it was like, it wasn't a pay-per-view. I think it was like one of the house shows. and then they showed it on one of the, I think it was like SmackDown, I think the following week or something. So which was a surprise beating Rey Mysterio, the legendary Rey Mysterio. And hopefully, please God, one day he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But I'm going to go with Humberto because if you remember, Andrade injured Humberto, so he was out for a couple of weeks, and Humberto, I think he only came back. Was it this week? I can't remember. So I'm gonna go with Humberto to beat Andrade. Now we will move on, guys, to the Royal Rumble match itself. Obviously, this is we will go on. We'll touch on the men's card in a bit. Obviously, probably a couple of surprise entries too. So at the moment, this is in the women's Royal Rumble so far. Probably maybe a couple of surprises in the women's Royal Rumble, 30 women Royal Rumble. You have Charlotte Flair, which is obviously she's the favourite to win, of course. You have Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair's daughter, of course. Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross from SmackDown. Charlotte Flair from Raw, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross from SmackDown, Sarah Logan and Natalia from Raw, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville from SmackDown. Now, that's not the full card that's going to be in the Royal Rumble. There's probably other to be announced, of course. But out of them, now it could be a surprise entry. I don't know. But out of them, I'm gonna go with Charlotte Flair on this one. Either Charlotte Flair or Natalia, of course, because Natalia, of course, with the comes from the Hart family, of course, trained in I don't know if she was trained in the dungeon, but Natalia, of course, better known as Natalia Neihart, of course, her father, Hall of Famer, of course, Jim the Anvil Neihart passed away. I think it was it 2 years ago, a year ago, I can't remember. So and then related to Bret the Hitman Hart. So you have two kind of sort of well, not legends, would you say? Two, probably legends or Hall of Famers in the future, like near future Hall of Famers. So you have Charlotte Flair, of course. Charlotte Flair, obviously her father, Ric Flair, of course. So they're kind of in the family. So, I'm gonna go with probably Charlotte Flair, on this one, to probably win the women's Royal Rumble. But who knows? You never know. Anything can happen. I hope there's going to be a good couple of maybe NXT. There probably will be NXT as well. But I hope there's going to be like women legends. Maybe Tori Wilson might make a comeback. Kelly might make a comeback. So on and so on. I can't even think of Trish Stratus might make a comeback. She was in the last year's Royal Rumble, isn't that right? Trish Stratus, Kelly, all them. So it'd be nice to see these legend female wrestlers coming back, and it's good that they remove divas because they're not really. They should be classed as superstars like the wrestlers, like the men wrestlers. Not we're divas, we're this, we're that. It's the women revolution, and it's great because in the past year or so, they had the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match, first ever cage match, first ever Hell in a Cell match. I think the first ever women's Iron Man match. Normally it's called the men's Iron Man match. So the women have come along, since I was a kid. So, but I'm gonna go. I'm rambling on here, guys. I'm gonna go with Charlotte Flair or Natalia here. So it's going to be a tough cookie here. But you never know. Somebody might come back, a legend might come back and win the Royal Rumble. But the favourite, in my eyes, would be Charlotte Flair. Is probably the favourite to win the women's Royal Rumble. Now we will move on to the men's Royal Rumble. Now I don't think all of them have been confirmed. There's going to be a couple of legends, apparently. We're gonna go. We're gonna go through the list. We're gonna go Roman Reigns from SmackDown, Brock Lesnar from Raw, AJ Styles from Raw, Eric Rowan from Raw, Randy Orton from Raw, Rey Mysterio from Raw, Ricochet from Raw, Drew McIntyre from Raw, um, Elias from SmackDown, King Corbin from SmackDown, Dolph Ziggler from SmackDown, Otis from SmackDown, Tucker from SmackDown. Then you have Rusev from Raw, Bobby Lashley from Raw, Aleister Black from Raw, Buddy Murphy is from Raw, Braun Strowman and Shinsuke Nakamura from SmackDown. You have uh, um, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe from Raw. Then you have Kofi Kingston and Big E from um, SmackDown. Then you have R-Truth from Raw. Then you have John Morrison and The Miz from SmackDown. Now that's not all of the wrestlers. There'll probably be others to be announced, of course. But remember now, guys, Brock Lesnar enters the Royal Rumble at number one. Now there's speculations of Edge coming back. We'll wait and see. Edge supposed to be coming back. Um, and and it's only so who out of those good, fantastic, especially Brock Lesnar. Now Brock Lesnar, he is the WWE champion. So he goes in there, he wins the Royal Rumble. He doesn't have to face anybody at WrestleMania. Now the speculations, he's the favorite to win, apparently. Now AJ Styles, there's Randy Orton. Randy Orton has won the Royal Rumble. Rey Mysterio has won the Royal Rumble. So we have a few. Roman Reigns, I think he has won the Royal Rumble. So we have a couple of, I think 4, maybe 5 Royal Rumble winners announced in it. Brock Lesnar on his first year, Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble on his first year on the company. So that's obviously impressive, and of course there's only 3 wrestlers, as far as I know. I think it's 3 or 2 wrestlers that have entered the number one spot and won the Royal Rumble. I think it was Shawn Michaels was 1, Stone Cold I think was 2, and I think, I'm not 100% sure, it was a Hulk Hogan, or I can't remember, but there was three superstars that entered number one and lasted the whole 30 men or 29 men and won the Royal Rumble. Like, I remember Shawn Michaels in '96, I think it was '96, and then after the match, do you remember he was in the ring with what's that girl who used to be in Baywatch? Pamela Anderson, I think it was, and he was dancing around the ring and all that. Because if you remember, it was the British Bulldog and Shawn Michaels. He ended up the last 2. And if you remember, British Bulldog thought he eliminated Shawn Michaels, but Shawn Michaels only his 1 foot hit the floor, and everybody was cheering the Bulldog. The music was playing, and we were like, "What the hell?" And then Michaels had him out. Michaels got back into the ring, didn't realize Michaels won, had him off because the Bulldog was actually on the apron that time, and fell over and won the Royal Rumble. So I remember that was 96. I think, no, sorry, I could be wrong. I think it could have been 94 or 95. Please, somebody check it out, please. Give me some news from Wikipedia, because I can't remember. But I remember Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels actually was number 1, and the British Bulldog was number 2. That's to tell you how I remember. So number 1 and number 2 ended up in the last 2 in the Royal Rumble. So, what an amazing achievement over the years. But I think Stone Cold Steve Austin is the only wrestler out of what this decade, last decade, has won the Royal Rumble 3 times. I think one of them was at number 1 as well. So there you go. So hopefully we should get some good surprises. As far as I know, I think is it 27 out of the 30 have been announced for the men's. So I'm hoping that there's what 28, 29. So there's 3 wrestlers to be announced. Apparently, Edge is supposed to be making his return. That would be fantastic. Yeah, apparently, his neck is all healed up. Because if you remember, didn't he? I can't remember what pay-per-view it was. Didn't he spare Elias or something at one of the pay-per-views? Survivor Series, I think. I can't remember. But but you know, so Edge is apparently announced. He's not announced, but apparently he's announced that he's fully fit. His neck injury is healed up. He can wrestle, and that would be amazing if he did make a return. It would be fantastic. But I have a funny feeling if he is making a return, he will probably probably be the number 30th spot. So that's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night, Royal Rumble comes to you. I can't remember where it comes to you from, but it's on BT Box Office, Houston, Texas, I think. So the Royal Rumble comes to you from Houston, Texas, 8 midnight tomorrow night. In the Minute Maid Park Arena, comes to you tomorrow night, 12 midnight. And I hope if you're watching the guys, I hope you're enjoying it. If you're watching on BT, it's £20. Dan, I'll get back to you, bro, on that app. I can give you lending me app if you want to watch it. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a fantastic Saturday, guys. I am your hardcore. I'm your boy, Hardcore Declan. And hopefully I will see you in the next pay-per-view, guys. And have a good Saturday night. Do not drink too much, guys. Do not drink too much. Guys, I'm out of here. Please smash like and put that notifications bar on, guys. And subscribe to my channel. Thank you, guys. And I am out of here. In the mix, guys.